Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Maloney, and this is Sacktown Slam. This is my second time trying to put this up because someone in my house does not understand the concept of bandwidth. So I'm a little annoyed because I just spent an hour trying to film this, and I'm now having to film it again. Um, Anyway, regardless of that, I do want to say that Raw last night was a good show. It was, decent. I am going to probably do a rush job through it this time because I don't feel like doing a giant hour and a half long video again. So I'm going to do a little bit of a patch job here. So, news piece number one. Everyone was expecting Paige to come back last night. Didn't happen because she tweeted out a picture of her and Alicia Fox together, and WWE kind of felt like, well, that's kind of spoiling the surprise. So that's why she is not on Team Raw for the women. They will probably bring her back next Monday, which, Paige getting herself into trouble again. Go figure. Another thing, apparently Neville's future with the WWE is not entirely said and done. And this is another story that's come out in the last 24 hours. It's been well documented that while former Cruiserweight champion was initially scheduled to lose to Enzo in a lumberjack match on Raw in mid-October, he walked out. At this time, it has been reported that Neville was frustrated by the direction of his character and the lack of payoffs and the rough WWE life on the road. The WWE Cruiserweight Champion has reportedly been miserable in WWE since January of this year. It's been reported that Neville had pushed for his WWE release with the idea of working the indies and making a name for himself there. In this update, Pro Wrestling Insider is reporting that there have been many recent positive discussions between Neville and WWE. There is a belief among some that Neville could actually return to action to WWE before the end of the month, if not next week. So, yay, just fucking get rid of Enzo. That's all I ask. I'll wait for any other major, updates on that. I will get to what I need to get to for now, which is the results of Raw. I feel like this is going to be the abridged version because Raw was interesting. It came from Atlanta, Georgia, in the Phillips Arena. So Stephanie McMahon opened the show. She had those McMahonisms where she was like, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw," and all that crap. Angle came out. She did throw some shade Angle's way. She was very angry that he chose Jason Jordan while SmackDown chose, the John Cena. And the only reason they got John Cena is because you didn't choose him first. Because John Cena, the last time he was seen, was on Raw. And he's a quote-unquote free agent. So before she had a chance to say, "Kurt Angle, you're fired," the Shield came out. Shield was like, "Well, where the hell have you been? Last time we saw you was at WrestleMania and you got knocked through a table by your husband. So, while everybody was chanting, "You still got it" for Angle, and they really tried to push up Angle as Angle was the one that took Roman's place at TLC. In the end, the whole promo was basically about making the New Day versus the Shield an official match. So they got that done last night. Then, after that, you had a women's triple threat between Mickie James, Dana Brooke, and Bayley. There was one moment in this match that really made it worth watching. Now, for those that are wondering about Paige, like I said at the beginning of the show, Paige sent out a tweet with her and Alicia Fox. WWE wasn't happy about it. Way to go, Paige. Just getting yourself in trouble. First day back on the job. But, bottom line is that Dana Brooke made a very stupid mistake. Asuka, of all people, tried to check to see if she was okay. Dana Brooke got pissed off, pushed Asuka, and then Asuka chased her around the ring. Since it was a triple threat, there's no DQ, so this didn't really matter to begin with. And then Dana Brooke got the shit kicked out of her by Asuka, which I think was their show of power for Asuka before the pay-per-view. If they are going to have Asuka just sweep the SmackDown women's team, go for it. The winner of this match was Bayley over Mickie James with a Bayley to belly. Mickie James, though, does have a Survivor Series record, which I don't know why you wouldn't choose Mickie James here, because she's undefeated at Survivor Series. But, whatevs. It's Bayley. Bayley will probably get buried again. But, such is life. After that, you had Enzo Amore and Drew Gulak against Kalisto and Akira Tozawa. No one cares. So, bottom line, the winner was Enzo. This is probably not good news for Enzo, because usually the winners at the go-home show are the losers at the pay-per-view. And seeing as he's the only one defending his title, such is life, Then you had a commercial break, and let's see. Kurt Angle was backstage with Team Raw, told Samoa Joe and Finn Balor they were going to face Gallows and Anderson, and then Jordan would have to prove himself against Bray Wyatt. Yeah, that's not really proving yourself, man, especially with a guy with that losing record. Anyway, and then Braun Strowman would have to prove himself, and Braun Strowman, didn't even get a chance to name an opponent for him. He was like, "I want Kane. Give me Kane." And so that's who he got. Then there was a segment with Miz TV. It was basically Miz, trying to bury Corbin again. I really hope this fucker gets hit with a deep six. I really do, because Miz, in the middle of his match, just ran like a fucking coward. And for an IC champ that I don't think is really worthy of that title anymore, he's devaluing the title, he's devaluing himself, and he's devaluing both himself and the title while holding the title. And it's time to put that on someone else. And I know they want Balor to have that be fed to the beast before he gets to WrestleMania. I honestly believe that Balor would be a better, candidate for IC champ than Universal. Personal opinion there. They came out there, they had an interview on Miz TV, yada, yada, yada. basically, it was them saying that, oh, we're going to beat the Usos, and we beat the Shield, and we're the shit. I'm going to be honest with you. The Bar, I think, should be very afraid after what they did to the New Day. Very afraid. And they're like, we're going to have a jailbreak from the Uso penitentiary. I'm like, good luck, motherfuckers, because that's not happening. Anyway, then you had Bray Wyatt versus Jason Jordan. The end of this match ended, it did end with Jason Jordan as the winner. And Jason Jordan had his knee kind of messed up during the match. And then Kurt Angle and Stephanie were watching this match from backstage. And what ended up happening was Bray Wyatt attacked him after the match, just threw down on his knee and just hit his knee. The fans were chanting, "Thank you, Wyatt." And then at the end, were saying, "Nah, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye," as he walked up the ramp. I mean, that's got to be humiliating for a guy like Jason Jordan, who's like literally trying to prove himself. I mean, the guy has little to no charisma, so he's going to have to find that at some point. I mean, that's why Chad Gable would have been such a better choice for this, and leaving Jason Jordan on SmackDown to team with Shelton Benjamin would have been better, but that's just my opinion. Then there was a promo with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman went through a lot of rhetoric, but he did compliment AJ Styles, said he was the perfect there were 5 reasons and 5 selling points. I'll basically bring up 2. He said speed kills, and he said AJ Styles is the perfect example of that. And he also said that and that AJ Styles and that AJ Styles was the perfect, example of a Rocky movie. And that, although he said at the end, selling point F5, this ain't no Rocky movie. During the promo, though, there was a loud chant of, "She said yes, she said yes." And it interrupted Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman was like, just like sitting there with the mic, like, get it out of your system, motherfuckers, And then he was like, and then I love Paul Heyman just because he knows how to shoot promo during a promo. And he was like, "She only said yes because she's never been this up close to a beast like Brock Lesnar. Interrupting his promo is like stepping into the ring with Lesnar. You ain't got a chance," And like being dissed by Paul Heyman right when you propose, that would be a big thing. That's something to remember your proposal night for, because Paul Heyman doesn't do that for everyone. So it was a decent promo, and I think Brock Lesnar got his point across that A, he would rather be wrestling AJ Styles, which I don't blame him, and B, it's set up for an interesting match. I don't know what Styles is going to say on SmackDown, but it should be very interesting. Then you had The Miz and The Bar versus Sheamus, or The Miz and The Bar versus The Shield. This was a good match, and I feel like The Miz and The Bar really, they did pretty well. But, obviously the Shield was going to win this one. I have a feeling they did this match because this was Roman's first Raw since having viral meningitis. And it was also Wyatt's first Raw since having, viral meningitis. And to be fair, it was interesting. The end of it ended like this. Cesaro and Reigns are tagged in. Reigns clotheslines Cesaro twice and punches Miz off the apron. Reigns takes Cesaro down again and clubs away at him in the corner. Reigns hits the ropes and Cesaro big boots him. Reigns answers back with a big boot and a Samoan drop. Reigns sets up for a spear, but Miz grabs his foot. Ambrose then takes Miz out with a suicide dive. Cesaro uppercuts Reigns and Sheamus gets a cheap shot in. Cesaro hits a very European uppercut for a near fall. Cesaro gets a tag to Sheamus, but Ambrose pulls him off the apron. Rollins then hits Sheamus with a suicide dive. Reigns hits Cesaro with a Superman punch and goes for a spear, but Cesaro uppercuts him. Cesaro goes for a Gotch neutralizer, but Reigns counters with a back body drop. Cesaro lands on his feet and Miz blind tags in. Cesaro springboards off the ropes into a Superman punch. Miz rolls Reigns up for a near fall. Miz goes for a skull-crushing finale, but Rollins hits him with a springboard knee. Sheamus grabs Rollins, but Ambrose pulls him off and hits a Dirty Deeds. The Shield surrounds The Miz in the ring, and the crowd starts to buzz. The Miz gets to his feet and realizes he's in trouble. A yes chant fires up, and Miz runs away, but Reigns hits him with a spear. The Shield hits the triple power bomb, and Reigns pins for the win. Best match of the night, by far. This was probably what we should have gotten at TLC. This should have been the main event tonight, last night, but I really feel like, it was not too bad, and really there were no mistakes or botches or anything. This was a very physical, very up-close encounter with these guys. I want to see more stuff like New Day Shield. I don't want to see the Bar and the freaking Shield the whole way through until Ambrose betrays them. It is being said that they will get a rematch for the title after Survivor Series. I don't know whether they'll get that title back or not, or whether that'll start the chain reaction that destroys the Shield, because it is rumored that Ambrose is going to betray the Shield this time. I don't know after this where we're headed, but New Day Shield is something that needed to happen. So, anyway, next, for Raw, you had Kane did some sappy, cheesy promo, which kind of out of the 90s kind of promo, where he was like, he could still hear the sound of the garbage truck crushing his body in a symphony of horror. There are some things that are worse than death, like him. Ooga booga. I don't like these sappy promos anymore. Kayfab's been out of the barn for a long time. Obviously, Kane is not an undead monster. We all know that. We all know Kane's history. I mean, we've seen him with the mask on and the mask off. We have seen him with the voice vibrator. Like fucking what's his name from South Park. He's gone through a lot of transitions over the years. It just makes these stupid, sappy promos hard to believe anymore. Then Kurt Angle was in the ring, and he said that, he and Stephanie talked earlier about tough decisions, and that Jason Jordan was injured. And then I can sum this part of it in one way. Oh, Daddy, please don't take me off the Survivor Series team. I need this. I want this. I want to fight beside you. Like your typical, I'm a face, but please don't cut me kind of shit. And really, people were booing Jason Jordan, and Angle was like, I don't need you at 90%, I need you at 100%. Then Stephanie came out and said, give me a break, which is probably the only thing I've ever agreed with Stephanie on. Give me a freaking break, okay? And then, she was like, make the announcement! Make the replacement. And then a bunch of yes chants started. And then when Triple H music hit, it like the roof blew off that place. And, the crowd cheers. And then he was like, the fifth member is me. Now, to slow things down a bit, you have Triple H, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and who's the fifth member of that team? And it's gonna kill me now. It's Joe, Balor. Oh God, I can't remember. Oh, and Strowman. That's right. It's Joe, Balor, Strowman, Angle, and Triple H versus John Cena, Shane McMahon, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, and Randy Orton. That is called Nostalgia Fest. And I kind of like the fact that they did the 5-on-5 that way, because it's almost going to be better than last year's 5-on-5. Holy shit. Yes, it is going to be a lot of 40-plus guys in the ring. But it's a lot of 40-plus guys in the ring that know how to do their damn job. So, that is going to be a hyped match. Like, we don't get hyped, we stay hyped kind of fucking match. Like, I'm loving this build for Survivor Series. And not only that, this is long-term storytelling. And the reason I'm saying that is you took prior stories, which is the whole Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle, shitty, I slept with a black woman and had a brother from another mother kind of crap. They took that, which has been a terrible story up until last night. They put the Triple H angle in there, which it was rumored that he was going to face Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. Now that's in motion. They also, and long-term booking, yay! They also pushed the whole Jason Jordan heel turn thing into motion too, because his dad pretty much let him eat a pedigree. And, when Triple H came out, replaced himself, everyone was screaming pedigree, and then he turned around and gave Jason Jordan a pedigree. Now, I don't know how all this is going to come together from now until WrestleMania, but this is pretty much, people talk about the road to WrestleMania being from January to April. I think it's honestly from November to April. Because those are your two, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania only have 2 pay-per-views in between. I mean, you've got the December pay-per-view, which usually doesn't mean shit anyway. And then you got the February pay-per-view, which usually doesn't mean shit anyway. So, those 3 pay-per-views are what make your company. Anyway, then you had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus Gallows and Anderson. This really didn't end up being anything that anything more than what I expected. Joe and Anderson are tagged in. Joe hits a pair of running elbows, an inverted atomic drop, a big boot, a running senton splash, and knocks Gallows off the apron. Joe avalanches Anderson in the corner and hits a snap kick. Balor is tagged in. Joe sends Gallows out of the ring, and Gallows hits a running kick. Joe slams Anderson down, and Gallows with a suicide dive. Balor then hits Anderson with a coup de grace for the win. They looked like a good team out there, but right after the match was over, Joe's like, I want to fucking celebrate with you. And then just walks right back up the ramp. I mean, it's some good heel heat for Joe. I think they did it because he knew he had to do his job. Joe is one of those grunt worker types that are like, I'm here to do my job. I'm not here to please the fans. So that makes for a good heel. Balor is the kind of guy that wants to, revel in the fans' love because it's all about the Balor Club. So he does that, and he did that quite well. Then you had, Charlie Caruso had a short interview with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss made a hint that she might be on SmackDown tonight. Do not know that for sure yet. But if she is, I will report it here first. So, SmackDown's only, as of the taping of this, an hour away. Because I had to re-fucking tape an hour of this. But, bottom line, if she said that she may go to see it, another bombshell news is that Charlotte is supposed to win the title and then swap with Natalya because they do not want Charlotte and Asuka to have any interaction supposedly until WrestleMania, hence why they're making it Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. That is a nice, rematch-esque type thing from the beginning of the year. So we shall see what happens there. There was a lot of heat with The Miz, and of course, Baron Corbin. But I honestly don't think Sin Cara is going to win the U.S. title. If he does, then he's losing to The Miz at Survivor Series, and then he's going to lose the U.S. title right back to Baron Corbin. I think Corbin wins. I think they would not have had Corbin throwing so much heat, Twitter heat, Miz's way, and they wouldn't have had Miz throwing so much Twitter heat Corbin's way if that wasn't going to be the match. So I see one title changing hands. I do not see 2. Not right before a major pay-per-view. Anyway, Kane versus Strowman, that wasn't even a match. It never got started. And at the end of it, Strowman picked up Kane for a power slam and dumped him into the ring. Like, the ring didn't collapse. Like, he power slammed him, and they both went through the top part of the ring. Here's the thing. We've seen a lot of big guy gimmicks with Strowman. He collapsed the ring. He destroyed a cage and sent Big Show through it. And now he slams Kane through the ring. enough with the big guy gimmicks. We get it already. This guy's fucking huge. Why he lost in like 5 minutes to Brock Lesnar makes zero sense. But, whatever. If he has the power to collapse a ring, destroy a fucking steel cage, and fucking throw people under the ring, then you would think he would be able to beat Brock Lesnar. But he did not. Lame. And why? And the only reason why they would sit there and have this whole thing with Kane drag out is because they want to pick up with Kane where they left off. Lame. I feel like we are at that point with this feud where I just don't care. And these guys could be feuding into December, supposedly. And I don't want to see that. I mean, let's have a David and Goliath kind of thing happen with Braun Strowman and have him have to beat somebody faster, maybe not bigger. Because the only big guy you have left, other than, Brock, is Joe. That he hasn't faced him one-on-one. He did face him in a triple threat. But, if you're going to do what you're going to do, I mean, I guess it is what it is on that one. Apparently, the viewership went up for the Go Home show last night. This week's episode of Raw drew 3 million viewers. That is up from the 2.8 viewers it did last week, which was the week of Halloween. Which was the week after Halloween, excuse me. And then Hour 1 averaged 3.2 million viewers. Hour 2 drew 3 million viewers. And then the final hour only drew 2.7 million viewers. Do you want to know why? The last hour was shit. And I think WWE did really bad. Raw had to go up against Panthers Dolphins, which drew 8 million viewers on ESPN. And, and really, boy, I mean, 8 million viewers, that's kind of low for Monday Night Football, which is probably why it did so well. But, yeah, and, anyway, let's see. And now let me see if I can get some news. Okay, so let me see what this is about. Paul Heyman responds to promo praise. Paul Heyman received a ton of praise for his promo on Monday night, last night, where he hyped Universal Champions Brock Lesnar's match against AJ Styles this weekend. Heyman responded to the fans' praise on Twitter, claiming he's only just getting started on honing his craft on the mic. Okay, somebody, Get Duraz said on Twitter, proposal in the crowd, Heyman Hustle doesn't care. He'll cut you down either way. Best man in the business on the mic, no contest. I could listen to him cut promos all day. Wonder what Heyman would have said if you told him 20 years ago he'd be doing his best work now. And then Heyman tweeted back that I always knew it would take a long time to hone this craft. You never stop learning in this business. Just for the record, I'm just getting started. So, that I think that was more about the definitely the reaction to the proposal. Um, okay, big spoiler for tonight's episode of SmackDown is um. Okay, following SmackDown's roster invading Monday Night Raw under siege angle a few weeks ago, many fans have wondered when Raw would respond with their own attack. The reason Raw has not responded up to this point is due to WWE's touting touring schedule, as the two rosters were never available on the same night. Pro Wrestling Insider is reporting the Shield is backstage on tonight's SmackDown event, which is the final broadcast before Survivor Series. This will help to build the planned New Day versus Shield bout, and the Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus, as well as members of the Raw Men's and Women's Elimination teams, are also backstage. Ooh, that could, yep, Under Siege Part 3, possibly for your SmackDown review. Yeah, this is pretty big. Definitely looks big. And, so, at this point, I will go ahead and call it a day. I told you about Neville. I told you about Charlotte, and I told you about Paige. Told you about last night's Raw. Told you about what could happen tonight on SmackDown. So I think I got everything in a nutshell, and I did it in about a half hour or less. So I am Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam, and I am signing off. So see y'all later. I will try. I have SPW this Sunday, which I'm always proud to work for Supreme Pro Wrestling. But unfortunately, I am going to miss Survivor Series. So my review of Survivor Series will probably be a little bit later. I will probably find out the results long before I actually see it. I will try to watch it, as soon as I get up on Monday morning, so it's not all spoiled for me. But I will, and same thing with War Games. I will definitely try to have a result up here for you. But, having to take a public transit there and, there and back with, to SPW and back, it's very difficult. I have to get up very early, and those shows are usually very long. So I'm not sure when I will have a review for War Games up either, but they will come up. So again, I am Gary Maloney, and I am signing off.